I mean, it's a question you might ask of a baseball pitcher. So I got it in the song, you got me rocking. You know, it gets to a certain time when he can't, you know, deliver the pitch anymore, but this isn't really such a similar activity, really.
Bill was always telling me that I'd start to feel aches and pains, but I said, Bill, I still ain't got them, man, and that was 10 years ago you told me that.
No, I never play our records anyway. No. I haven't got past Louis Armstrong yet. I never play our stuff. I haven't played this album, actually. Really? No, still in the wrapper.
I've got to get a full sense of security from somewhere. I've got to play with these guys.
Was it quicker writing songs, like back around the time of Ruby Tuesday? Did you toss them off one after another like that, or was it always
just one after another? Well, yeah, they were pretty quick. A lot of times, yeah, they were very quick. And I used to write the lyrics the morning before we went into the recording studio. While I woke up, like, Ruby Tuesday, or whatever. And I've got to confess, I still do that. I was like, Don was on the phone. You coming down to sing this? Love is strong. Oh yeah, love is strong. Love is sweet. Love is bitter. Love is. You know, well, you know.
And it works.
Plus ça change.
Maybe you should tell us the Satisfaction story.
I don't know. I woke up in the middle of the night and with it going on in my head, and I had a little tape recorder, one of the first cassette players, and I slept with the guitar in those days. Laid down this riff and went back to sleep. And when I woke up the next morning, I'd totally forgotten about this, except I noticed that my tape had gone from the beginning and that it was finished. Somebody been in the room while I was asleep. So I rushed and put it back to the beginning, and there was Satisfaction, like 30 seconds of it, and then 45 minutes of me snoring.
I mean, when I joined the Rolling Stones, whenever Bill Wyman say it was, I can't remember, but when I did, you know, I was in like 4 bands at the same time, and they all lasted 3 months. And I thought the Rolling Stones would last a year at the most. You know, that's what he did.
No, I don't think I had this in mind when I was a kid. But I don't, you know, I'm very happy to have been proved wrong, you know. No, I had no idea, man, you know. Nobody thinks that, you know, this, you kind of grow into it. I mean, I still don't know how it happened, you know. None of us do, really. We just picked up and wanted to make a blues band, you know, and we didn't want, you know, none of that pop stuff for us. And then suddenly, and then it's there, and then you realize that, hey, maybe that's what you are good at.
We're ready and ready to go, are we? Yeah. How's it? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. I've got a brand new car. I like to drive real hard, and I got a brand new car, and I'm feeling good so far.
It must be kind of a jolt to have the bass player kind of disappear after all that time.
Not really. No? It didn't worry me at all. It really doesn't worry me. People like, it never worried me at all. I just saw it as an opportunity to get a good new bass player. I mean, it's not the most difficult job in the world playing bass with the Rolling Stones.
The songs were coming, playing well, and getting really getting onto the case. But the one point of saying, well, you know, one of the engines has fallen off. You know, like, we'll ignore it, it'll go away. You know, maybe we can get home on one. And
Bill is always a very under type of bass player, you know. He's the sort of guy that you'd never really knew he was playing till he stopped and the whole bottom would fall out, you know. In jazz terms, he was a bit like Walter Page used to be with Count Basie, you know. That it was just, he was a rhythm section, you know. But that aside, you know, I miss him because of his humour, really, and moaning.
And trying to make up your mind on working with a guy for an hour. It's very difficult. And Mick and I were scratching our heads about it, sort of, is this going to, you know, who do you like, when it come down to that, or... And then we sort of looked at each other and said, no, Charlie should choose, you know, because it's the engine room, it's his department, you know. And so we put it onto him, and she said, thanks a lot for putting me in the hot seat, sort of thing. And so I said, well, once in 30 years, Charlie, you know, I mean, you can't complain.
Daryl, it's rocking. He's rocking. All kind of knows everything he's doing. But he's not obtrusive, he's not forceful and pushy. He just settles in and he makes you feel like Bill was there and a little more.
I saw him at Ronnie Wood's birthday party, which was, I don't know, a month ago.
Oh. How's he doing?
He seems fine. Seems very happy. He's going to have a new baby.
Wow.
He's got a new wife and a new baby. And, you know, he seems quite content.
So there are no bitter feelings or anything like that?
Not for me. He said pointedly.
Take her on the highway for a little spin. I want to check the kind of shape she's in. I got a brand new star. Check her up, baby, open the hood. I want to see if the oil smells good. Smells like caviar. All right.
Really, I mean, I always enjoyed singing. I was a singer before I was a guitar player in the choir, you know, I was a soprano. And I learnt a lot, actually, there, you know. But it's taken me nearly 40 years to figure out what I learnt there and how to do it with this voice now, you know. It took a long while to break, you know.
Well, yeah, in the early days, we used to do harmonies and things a lot together. I think he's a bit more confident. He hits the notes a bit more sure sometimes now. Not always, though. You know,
style.
It's just sort of, yeah. Luckily, I don't do albums full of guitar solos, really.
With us, he could always, I'm not saying he did, but he could always hide behind Mick singing, you know? I'm talking about singing and leading.
Does Keith ever chime in with a lyric occasionally?
Oh, yeah, he's a lot of lyric ideas. I mean, he always had lyric ideas. They tend to be like one line, and I run with the ball after that, which is it's quite good. I mean, I think that some of it's on this record.
Sparks Will Fly, for instance, it was the middle of the night at Ronnie's place, and there was a big bonfire. He only lives on a farm, you know. Yeah. So and we were just tossing on some more wood, and I was looking at it, and then I threw on another piece of wood, and these sparks flew. And I just turned around and ran straight back to the studio and said, Charlie, follow me. And we wouldn't let anybody touch that track until we'd honed it down to like scientific precision. But they come like that, sparks will fly, you know, and it's, and suddenly you know, and as long as you've got everybody around, you know, incoming.
The last time I remember that kind of scenario was when I got married to Joe. Keith and Bert, his dad, were staying with me in this place that we rented in Chiswick. And the day after the wedding, because he came on our honeymoon with us, of course.
How did that work out?
Fine, they tell me. No, but Keith was sitting around the fire, and so was I, the day after my wedding, and we were just playing. and we got a lot of the Dirty Work album together from that kind of scenario. Just the missing link was he was working a lot with me and not with his strong songwriting buddy.
I see.
We write great ones, but no, when they start creating, there's nothing like it. I like to say leave it to them, you know, because they can come out with some blinding songs, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been here before, because every time I say these things, I read in an article where Keith says, "It all just happened, man." and I look like a complete twit.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long year. Stole many a man's soul and faith. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name.
Sympathy for the Devil. Available.
Just getting everybody back together again on track, and I think this one is just a natural. Well, you know, we've got to get better again. You know, I think that everybody's been working in between, doing a lot of stuff. To be able to walk in and Charlie's just come off the road, you know, that's it's a joy. You know, I mean, the machinery's oiled. You know.
Here you go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
I suppose you've heard this so many times before, and I know Keith always says it, the ancient form of weaving. Yeah. That's the way we describe our guitar playing. And that's what it is, really. You got me rocking now. He's going like, yeah, and I'm going, yeah, just after it, he's going, ba-boom, you got me rocking now. We just do that purely by feel, and it doesn't change.
Yeah, the ancient form of weaving. Yeah. Ronnie's playing some really nice pedal steel stuff on this album, and on stage too is because I kind of missed playing. You know, you haven't played with them for like 2 or 3 years. You know, it's fun to get back together again. Yeah. You know, swap ideas about the kind of. In a way, the guitar players we're better off for the break.
So when I did that Unplugged with Rod, you know, it was like going back in time. You know, when we were saying things like, "Cool, when did we do this last, Ron?" You know, Rod would say to me, you know, 20 years ago. Bloody hell, most of the band weren't born and my wife was only 1, you know. But that it's so funny, in a little time capsule, then you come back here and then you find yourself playing Monkey Man and Stray Cat Blues, Parachute Woman and all that. It's great.
I have favourites, but I very rarely listen to them. I have favourites. I like the Tattoo You, I like very much.
Yeah.
There's good things on it.
And Emotional Rescue.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. That was done in a bit of a haze. But
I imagine a lot of things are over the
no,
years.
that was, yeah, particularly hazy period. Yeah.
Why was it hazy?
Just a little bit unfocused to the times. The end of the 70s. This was really, in some ways, the end of the 70s was more crazy than the 60s in a lot of ways. Yeah. More befuddled.
It's only rock and roll.
I don't know. You know, the rough track was made in Ronnie's studio in Richmond with Kenny Jones on drums, and then we put Charlie on, and David Bowie's on it somewhere, really? On acoustic guitar, and it's all made up of little bits of tape, and it sounds like the most like freest jam session there is, but it really isn't. It was
the problem. I mean, it's a nice problem, but the problem we have is there are a lot. So we could actually play for about 2 days without, you know, and you don't know, and you're still not going to do the one. Someone's bound to come and say, "Why didn't you do
Monkey Man. It's wonderful, you know. Diddle-a-ding, diddle-a-ding. It starts all like this, and it goes into that classic Keith riff.
Start me up.
Yeah, well, it almost didn't see the light of day. It was sort of buried under a bush.
Really?
And it was unvaulted. And said, oh, that's great. And when Keith first heard it, he said, wow, I never remember that one. When did we do that?
But in a way, I said one of the best things the Stones have ever done is writing songs that are great to play live, as well as just making a record. I mean, they translate great to stage, you know, tailor-made, you know, Savile Row stuff.
No, it's not giving me a clue. Staging. No, he says, give me a clue.
Mick and Keith, in their songwriting, you can tell there is a fluidity there now instead of a sort of barrier. Yeah. It always makes for better songs if you have a bit of a barrier.
Are they getting
be one of them?
Are they getting along too well? Is that what you're suggesting, or
suspiciously well? No, not that. You know, just enough, but enough to know that the music is shining because of the original planning that went into the songs that they're writing together.
I feel like I've been here before, because every time I say these things, I read in an article where Keith says, it all just happened, man. and I look like a complete twit, because I say all these kind of like, well, this is why it was this and this and this. But at the risk of that, I said that I think we should definitely spend a long time on the writing, and we did.
It clicked from the day that we just got together, Mick and myself and Charlie. Down in Barbados, just to knock songs together, and after 12 bars, you know, I said, no problem, I knew this, you know. I'm smiling, look, you know.
And we had a few firsts in Ireland when we were at Windmill Lane. You know, Charlie's coming in for a playback. Turn me up. What? It used to be, what do I want to hear it for, you know? It's only a song. But now it's kind of, right, turn. Yeah, it's very enthusiastic, I think, Charlie, now. We all are.
I think you put these Stones records from the 60s. We were saying, oh, why don't we do this song the other day on with Stray Cat Blues, I think. And it sounds really awful, actually. I mean, it's a good song, but the sound of it is a real mess. Yeah. And I don't think this record sounds anything like that. Though people say, oh, this sounds like then, but I don't really, if you actually put them on, it doesn't sound anything like them, which is why
the technology is different. But I think
it's not so much only the technology. I think it's the playing too. But anyway, people have their ideas of it, which is fine. But if you actually A and B it, I think you might find it's very different.
The sessions felt like like an Exile on Main Street sessions. Just Charlie was experimenting, and that's like a major thing. Charlie moving his drums, that's major, you know. And when he's actually suggesting it himself, I'm flabbergasted. And wow.
Where did he move his drums to?
Down the stairwell. He preferred the sound down there for certain songs, and he was right, you know. But I mean, I have never seen Charlie do that since maybe Beggar's Banquet, you know.
But it's, you know, we did a lot of songs. This is only about a third of them. So I've actually got my own record planned, which is not that one.
We just hit the mix again this time, you know. I mean, it's all, you never can actually say why, but every song just felt like it was the Stones, you know. And that's what I think about this, is it don't just sound like the Stones. This record feels like them. I've got a little bit in me that's still 15, you know, and I'll nurture it, you know.
Society today seems to be that you shouldn't smoke, you shouldn't drink, you shouldn't do anything. I mean,
it's a bit hypocritical because so many people do. I mean, everyone seems to be still. I know a lot of very young people that take a lot of drugs, and they really do, and they still take coke and heroin and all this, and they all drink a lot. And I think it's bull to say that they don't, that people don't. I mean, sure, people don't maybe smoke as many cigarettes, but I always thought that was one of the most boring drugs of all. Doesn't do a lot for you, but it gives you every kind of disease without getting much of a high. But if people want to do it, but it's true, they may be aware of it. The damage that drugs do maybe more now than in the 60s. People didn't really know. It was all great.
No, you probably couldn't have done this in the 60s, you know. we'd have probably collapsed halfway through, because if you're going to do something like this, you do have to pace yourself. I mean, in the 60s, it was just like long journeys and 20-minute shows and off, you know. I mean, this is a lot more work than in the old days. Well, Mick's starting to enjoy it. And he's been playing a lot of harp, too. He's really been, like, changing his way of singing.
Love strong, and you're so sweet. You make me hard, you make me weak. Love strong, and you're so sweet. And someday, baby, got to be.
Yeah, we brought the maracas back too, you know, and so do those things you do so well. You know.
Do they work in stadiums? Do the maracas get...
Yeah, you can pick them up now. Yeah. You get you a good maraca sound in Giant Stadium, baby.
You know, I thought they might have closed shop by now. Oh, I don't want to play that rock and roll, you know. But they both still have that basic essence of what was in the English Boys when we first heard the Americans, you know, the imports coming in, like all these great records, wow, you know. And we still have that enthusiasm when we play on stage to reproduce that, the kind of stuff that turned us on. We try and keep that essence there.
Because I come from that generation where it arrived like a thunderbolt from the sky, you know, in England. You know, I remember, you know, the world was black and white until then there was, bang, good golly, Miss Molly, and the world went Technicolor, you know. So it's hard for me to say what it's like to have, you know, where it's just you've grown up with it and it's been part of your life. It's and I think all I'm telling you, it's a lot better with it than it is without it.
You've been doing this for a long time and you're still doing it. Wow. As if it's like some sort of accomplishment.
I don't know if it really is. I mean, people do things for a lot longer than this. It doesn't mean to say that I have to do the same delivery as a 21-year-old. But I mean, hopefully you're not going to fall down in the middle of it and die either.
Why should all the fun stop? You know, just because, you know, that's my version of it, you know. I don't know, I've got a little bit in me that's still 15, you know, and I'll nurture it, you know.